firmament of academia, right? So this is just my morning preamble as I sort of get set up for work. So I'm just going to set my camera up here, make sure we got a good kind of shot. It's sort of weird. I hate this in streamers myself, and I know it's probably one of the pet peeves for you, but well, I'm not looking directly at you. I'm looking at the monitors, and so it feels like I'm talking over your head. So nothing big about this morning. I'm just sort of setting up, and I thought I'd run you through a couple of different things in terms of setting up for COVID and working from home. So one of the first things I plan on doing this morning after I have my nice cup of coffee is to set a few things to start up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop over into my desktop is gone. My kid was customizing stuff, and so maybe let's deal with that first, shall we? So I'm going to come over here to personalize, and I want to set up my desktop background. So generally I do a solid color, the 50% gray. I think I talked a little bit about it. 50% gray gives you a better read on color and lights and darks and things like that. But let's find my picture. So hopefully it'll be preloaded here inside of Windows. It is not. That's really annoying. So let's browse. I usually keep things like my logos and desktops organized on my cloud drive, but let's see if it is. It's not. It's going right to my pictures directory, which is cool. That's all right. So RAID drive hasn't started up. So I'm going to add that to my list of startups. So RAID drive, if I haven't told you guys, is just awesome, right? Because what RAID drive does is that it allows you to map your cloud drives, OneDrive, Google Drive, etc., as drive letter mappings, right? So if I unscroll my PC, you can see I've got, drive letter mappings from my media drive, the PS4, a bunch of uni-based network locations, which are no longer valid at the moment. And when I fire up RAID drive, you get this. I'll walk through a RAID drive setup later. I'm just going to start it. And it should find do I have to map drives again? I hope not. So it's asking me for admin privileges. I'm going to say, yeah, no problem. There you go, admin privileges. And it is not waking up. We were having online connectivity issues last night, right? So I had to do a little bit of problem solving to try and get our internet back online. There we go. So we've got my pre-mapped 2 Google Drives and my 1 University OneDrive, right? So there it goes. It appears here, my M drive, my W drive, and then my UWTSD drive. So I think I popped it in here. In my attempts to become organized, I'm very disorganized. Okay, so let's see if I put my background, attempt logo, letterhead, feedback. No, I don't think I put it in here. Is that it? Splash 2. Oh, that's why it's not showing up. I'm waiting for the picture to show up, but it's not, the preview pane is not on. There we go. No, that's not it. Did I put it on my cloud drive? Is the other question. Under my global folder. The global folder has things like logos and whatnot. Girl fight banner. Perhaps it's a UWTSD. That's just the logo. Desktop. BG. There it is. See, I knew I was organized. Just took me a while to get there. Keeping track of the number of different cloud drives, that's a whole other issue. Now, there it is. So there's our background. That's set up and good to go. Let's talk about the startup menu, because some of you guys out there might not know. So there are a few things I just want to kind of set up straight away to start, right? So all I did was, actually, I got to walk you guys through this, don't I? All right. So you hit the Windows key and you just start typing startup, right? So you got a whole bunch of different things. You got start settings, using the start, how to use the start. Startup apps is what you want, right? So you want the applications that will be invoked or started once the startup routine kicks in. So I used to have Discord turned off because it takes an inordinately long time to load up. I don't know if you guys find that, and that's a little bit annoying. But unfortunately, now I'm using it every day. I want it to start up before I sit down, right? So I'm probably going to launch all of these guys here. So let's go down the list and find a few things. Microsoft Teams. I'll just manually start that. I got a deeply ingrained hatred for Microsoft Teams. So, there's a few that are not in here. Holy cow. So I think I've got to manually drag and drop these guys in, right? So, which is cool. I think there's a startup tasks window. Okay. I just want to check that out. So now there's a start. There used to be a start sort of explorer window. Let's see if we can find that. I wonder where that went. So there's the start. Oh, that's just the start task bar. All right. So I believe it's an actual Windows location, right? Where we can, let's have a look, shall we? I haven't done this in ages. So this will be a good kind of opportunity for me to walk you guys through this. Some of you are screaming at the screen right now. That's cool. That's cool. We'll talk about setting up my chat in just a sec. That's the other thing I got to fix this morning. So let's. I'll tell you what. Let's Google this. I don't want to hunt and peck around forever, so I'm just gonna drag this guy over. Apps to start on the Windows launch. There you go. Right. Change which apps will start. So it might, this support page might send me to the start settings, which we've just done. I just want to find out how to add other applications to it. Open startup settings. So settings, apps, startup. Let's try that one. There's two or three things that I've noticed about the new incarnations of Windows 10. There are several layers of software abstraction in terms of how you control the operating system. And that, in a lot of ways, is sort of annoying. It's created a situation where I'm more lost than I've ever been. So what do I mean by that? Well, there's the bog standard getting in through the command line to be able to do the things you want to do. Then there's the sort of the service layer, for lack of a better way to describe it, where you have the Windows-based admin tools that have direct access to the system software, and then there's this user-friendly garbage, right? So, and this is completely black boxed, making it really, really difficult for me to do anything. But unfortunately, it's the first thing to launch. You have to do a little bit of digging to get to a tool set or a UI or something where you've got a little bit more control over it. Okay, so we got apps and features here. So that should list everything we need, right? So we got settings, apps, and so that's the old startup menu. Now, what I want to do is I want to see what I can do to add these guys over, right? So changing startup apps. That sounds like what I might need. Don't take me back to the same startup UI. That'll just infuriate me. Okay, so that's taking a while trying to figure out what it wants to do. Oh, it's opened up an ancillary window. That's promising. That's promising. Is it a help window? It's a help window. And it's the help window we're looking at now. See, this is a good practical example of how, while striving for efficiencies, Windows 10 has become quite inefficient. All right, so let's go to Task Manager Startup tab, more details. Task Manager. Okay, so Task Manager is one of those old apps. It's been around for a dog's age, and they've since revamped it for Windows 10, but it's something I'm a little bit more comfortable with, right? So Startup Impact. So is there a right-click functionality in here? Yes, okay. So let's try this. So when we come down here, no, it's the exact same list that we get from the other one. All right. Okay, 4 ways to enable an app to run at Windows 10 Store. 4 ways. 4 ways. There used to be just one way, one startup area, like a Windows Explorer area, where you dragged and dropped hot links into, but shortcuts rather. So let's see. So we've got settings, general. Is that per app? General. Settings, apps. That's the startup. Task manager. So that should be the way you go. Okay, so startup enabled. But that's if you're in the startup tab. How do you add apps to the startup tab? By adding it to the Windows 10 startup folder. That is what I'm after. Oh, okay, there you go. Shell startup. Brilliant. Oh, and I learned something a little bit new. I did not know you could enter shell commands into this tab here. That's pretty cool. That's probably been around for a dog's age as well. But I just never bothered to use it. Okay, so here we go. So we got our startup. This is what I'm sort of comfortable with. Now, I'm just going to read through to double check. We should just be able to drag and drop stuff in there. All I have to do is create a shortcut to it in your startup. There you go. Perfect. Perfect. So this means I can just copy this shortcut. You can tell that these are shortcuts or links to where the actual executable is located because of the little icon in the little corner, sort of the curved arrow here. Here's what I need to problem solve as well, guys. The right-click functionality. My God, I right-click on an icon and it takes forever. I'm sure it's indexing drives or something like that. But if there is some way of shutting off that sort of software-based indexing or functionality or whatever it is it's doing, there needs to be a convenient way to just right-click and get to some of the commands you want without having it go through the rigmarole of doing whatever it's doing. Okay, so I'm going to copy, I'm going to paste this in here, right? So that gives us that guy, and then Discord we've already set. I need IVCam to start up, right? I'll talk a little bit today about, I might actually put it in a separate stream labeled so that you have that. You can skip this morning preamble, which is probably not hugely entertaining. It's just my opportunity to kind of get warmed up into sort of streamer mode. And wow, look at that, man. Look at that. When did the right-click context menu become so... And again, the solution is probably simple. Some sort of setting somewhere, very simple. But the fact that I have to go hunting for it tells me that it's not entirely intuitive. So IVCam is in there. Streamlabs is in there. There's a couple of other things that just for the time being I need to make sure are in there. So one is Photoshop 2020. Just because of the current freelance thing that I'm doing, I need that to launch pretty much straight away. And same with Resolve. And this way, those two, because they have such a long pre-launch, it's nice to start up the computer, go down, grab myself a cup of coffee, come back up, and everything's set up and ready to go. So this is the reason why I'm doing this. I'll talk a little bit briefly about my system as well, right? So there's a few things that I have set up. Okay, so Photoshop's in there, and now I'm going to right-click. Oh yeah, so the right-click context menu for Resolve opened up pretty much straight away. So Resolve is doing something different. Don't know what it is. But there we go. So we've got Photoshop. I don't need to start the genuine service. I don't need to... Well, you know what? I'll leave those guys, right? The server there is the Backburner server. I added that when we had our render farm. I could probably delete that shortcut for the time being. Yeah, you know what? Let's clean this up. Let's get rid of these shortcuts, right? I don't need these guys launching straight away and taking up my boot time. So let's grab that one. Let's grab the server. Signiant app. I can't remember what that is. I'm probably going to regret this, but let's kill it for now. I can always add it back later. It's just a shortcut. All right. So I'm going to get rid of those. I got my Photoshop, IVCam, Resolve, and Streamlabs. Now, just to make my life easier, I'm going to grab that startup menu and I'm going to pop it up here, right? On launch. That's what I'll call it. And then I can always pop back in here whenever I need to. All right. So I'm thinking of doing a little bit of a series on how to set yourselves up at home, especially with all this COVID stuff. So I'm going to be hitting a little bit about some free apps. I'll introduce you guys to maybe one free app a day that you can download and use. That you can also follow along in class as well, right? So I'm going to try to move to a lot of free and open source stuff where and when I can. That's one thing. The other thing I'll say briefly about my setup. So with my PC, I've got it attached to my power mains, right? For those of you guys in America and stuff like that, Canada, it's your outlet. So I've got my outlet set up so that when I turn it on, everything launches and I'm into my Windows environment. So how I do that is in your BIOS, and you guys can Google this as well. In your BIOS, there's a way of setting so that when there's a power failure and power returns, the computer will automatically boot up. So that's fantastic. I only have to deal with one power button. Just turn on my mains and we're good to go. Oh yeah, those of you guys in America and Canada, the way power mains or outlets work in the UK is you have to actually turn them on or off to use them, which is actually better because we're double the voltage. So yeah, there's a switch, and then when you switch that on, it powers up everything, right? And it's located directly on the faceplate for the plug. That was kind of a surprise for me when I first got here. Okay, so there's the BIOS setting to automatically boot up. And then inside of Windows 10, I set my user account to not require a password and login. So it just boots me right in. I know it's a security risk, but it'll be fine. You know, first of all, there's nothing on my teaching PC of any value really, other than sort of my creative work. Yeah, it's just me at home, so it's not a big deal. The only thing I have to worry about are lurkers from outside, but I got VPN and a whole other substrate to deal with that. So yeah. Just power on your power switch, go down, grab a cup of coffee, and come back, and you are ready ready to do your work, right? That's it. That's my morning preamble. I'm going to stop this stream, and then I'm going to jump back in, and we'll talk a little bit about nonlinear editors. So if you guys want to stick around for that, stick around. Oh, yeah. There's that last little thing I wanted. Before I go, I cannot seem to get this chat frame to work. That's what I wanted to test. So I'm going to pop over here into my Twitch stream. And we'll pop over, not into my dashboard, but let's get back to my channel. I've never really interacted with Twitch this way. So I'm just going to be searching around. Cool. So I'm going to be searching around. Now let's see if we can find that chat window. How can I participate in the chat here? I got to change this preamble and the schedule as well, right? So I'll edit those panels at a later date. But I want to interact with myself. How do I do that? How do I... See, I was expecting a chat window to open up here that I could start to interact with. So there's theater mode, settings. Man, okay. So how can I chat here, man? That's pretty frustrating. Okay, so live, expand. Do I have to follow? I think I have to follow myself. Probably. There's the edit window. Let's see. Come on. I don't want to report myself. That would be a nasty thing to do. See, the big issue, right, is that my chat window here is not working. So I want to figure out why it's not working, right? So we've got stream closed captioner. Yes. It's supposed to be captioning. So let's add that extension. Yeah, it's there. How come it's not showing up? Let's configure it. All right. So we got to come over here. We got to log in. Ah, that's really annoying, isn't it? So that's connected to Twitch. Connect to Twitch. And turn it on. That is really frustrating. Twitch, please incorporate closed caption. There we go. That's it. Okay, so the closed captioning is going, and it's closed caption Barry Go. Okay, so the captain is going on it. Okay. All right. So, man. Okay, I'm going to do something super embarrassing here. So, how do you chat inside of Twitch? Man. So, I've got a stream chat added to OBS. It's not working. Chat basics, right? It's an essential part of the Twitch experience. Yeah, I know. Chat layout overview. Once you're signed in, your chat window will look like this. I'm signed in. I don't have a chat window. Why do I not have a chat window? Okay. Chat layout overview. So, there's something in my... Is it a different... Do I need to go... That's my creator dashboard. Let's check my settings. Is there something I don't have turned on? Notifications. That's just the software notifying me, isn't it? Yeah. Channel and videos. That's... No, that's not what I want. Or is it? Permissions. Profile picture. I need to add a profile picture. Damn. Let's see. Let's do that now. Let's sort that out now. Because this is my morning preamble. So I'm going to pop down here. A little tidbit of information. Rob Jones, if you're out there somewhere and you happen upon this stream, thank you. Thank you very much for doing a caricature of me all those freaking years ago. All those years ago. Because it has been my de facto logo for close to it. Well, more than a decade, really. More than a decade. Time for me to change my logo, isn't it? Yeah, let's save that. That's cool. Oh, actually, you can zoom in. Oh, I was going to zoom in on that. Yeah, it's hard to see that, isn't it? So let's update this. Let's edit the current thumbnail. Let's see if we can bring it in. Let's bring it in. Right? Because really, I just want this bit of the logo. It's a cool logo, isn't it, guys? Rob is a fellow animator buddy of mine. We went to VFS together. For you, those of you who don't know, that's the Vancouver Film School, which I have no qualms about plugging, even though it's, what do they call it? Conflict of interest. It's a good school. Credit where credit's due. There you go. There you go. That profile picture's been with me for years. All right. So, display name. You know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm actually going to come in here and put an underscore. So, Al Kang Art. Just because I hopped into a stream from Sir Wade, right? And I was just involved, chatting away with him. And he's just like replying to me, and he's just like, yeah, it's a good comment. Al Kangart. I was like, oh no. Oh no. So I can't do that to my Twitch account or my Google accounts or anything like that, but obviously it's difficult to read. So hopefully this is easier. Al Kang Art. Right. So there we go. Let's save those changes. All right. Now, what were we doing? We were in here to sort out our chat, weren't we? So allow all raids. No one's going to raid this channel. Come on, let's be real. But only allow raids from friends, teammates, and followed channels. How about that? That's cool. Okay. I dig that. I don't mind raids. Raids can be fun. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so none of this really was what I wanted. Let's go back to home and let's see if we can. So this is me setting up the old stream manager. Will that allow me to add a, oh, this looks, yeah, so here we go. Here's my chat, right? So let's see. Hey, Al. How's it going? Boom, it doesn't appear. No, see? So I'm not getting it. No, it appears in my OBS stream chat, right? But it's not appearing in my chat box window. So that's really frustrating. Oh, here is the OBS setting for that chat box window. Oops, didn't want to do that. So the source, custom CSS, right? So that's the color. Refresh browser when scene becomes inactive. Yeah, that might be a good thing to have. Is there something wrong with my HTML? So I haven't defined it, have I? So in all likelihood, I'll probably need to... Is my text just black? Wonder. No, because I set that to gray just to make sure. See if I could test whether or not there was any activity. Drop down example. I've got option B set up, which indicates to me that I probably consciously chose that. Sound input. So I reckon I don't have the proper HTML code copy pasted in there. So that's why we're not getting that. So let's take a quick look. I'm going to pop into here, chat basics. Oh, stream. Yeah, so the stream manager was where I could test out my chats. So I'm going to take this off my dashboard, pop that over there. So I got that real quick. And then let's head over here and go Streamlabs, OBS, link, Twitch, chat. Okay, so we got that chat box on screen. I might go through all this trouble and go, you know what, that chat window takes up more screen real estate than it actually is worth, and I'll probably end up deleting it. But it's good. I chase these things down because everything's a learning process, and it's really cool. Display chat in your stream. That is what I'm after. It'd be nice if I had that transparency, but I don't know if OBS supports that. So let's see if we can get customize your settings, enable chat box, and save, and add the source. Okay, so that's the bit that chat box setup guide. Oh, this is gonna be a video. All right, I'm just gonna play it anyway. Oh, and my son's got his headphones plugged in, so let's this out. Okay, so let's define our sound card. Make sure, yep, we're playing through the tally, and then we'll unmute this guy.
OBS. This is especially helpful to those streamers who may stream on Twitch but archive clips somewhere else, like YouTube, and want to keep what's being
Yes,
said in
okay,
chat
all right.
viewers to see later. View of what your chat box widget will look like.
Okay, got it.
This as you make changes. The first option is a theme. There's a few options available here. Maybe we stream a lot of retro games, so we want an old school look.
I don't want themes and stuff. Come on.
It'll always show these.
Let's get that link.
This can also be in it, and you can put a graphic under it to add clarity to the text color. You can adjust the font size as well.
Yeah, that's all cosmetic stuff.
Let's change it to 20
Okay.
after being as clean as possible. If you'd like to keep your chat box as clean as possible, you can choose to have messages hide after being displayed a certain amount of time.
Oh, we don't need to hide messages, do we, guys? No.
20 seconds. If you'd like to have chat messages shown always, or until they are replaced with new ones, check Always Show Messages. To clean up even more, Streamlabs OBS allows you to hide common chat bots and commands.
I'm opening up my chat box settings window.
Read specific chatters by filling out their names, one per line. For the next section, if you have some knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, or a designer friend who does, you can customize your chat box even more by enabling custom code.
All right.
Keep this disabled and stick with the old school theme we chose earlier. Now click Save Settings. In Streamlabs OBS Editor, under Sources, go to the plus sign, add Chat Box, and press Add Source. Name it what you'd like. When you get it just to how you want it to look, move it over to where you want it on your scene. Once placed, you can test the chat box by going into your stream and typing some test messages.
Okay, so it's supposed to automatically pick it up. Right. So we have a little bit of an issue then.
If you aren't using Streamlabs OBS, you can place the widget by pasting the URL from the top as a browser source.
Okay, so do I need to set up a browser source? That might be the thing. Okay, so I'm just having another quick look in here just to, again, reassess whether or not I am missing something key in terms of setting this up. So that's a bit of a little bit of a worry. So the source, I definitely reckon it's somewhere in here where I'm running into issues. So yeah, no, see, here's the difficulty that I have. So I've set this up, I brought the chat box in, but how does it know where my Twitch account is located, right? So that's obviously why my chats are not making it over here. But when I go to source, there's nothing here. Control audio via OBS. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Refresh cache of current page. So we should get some chatter. No chatter is appearing. Yeah, this is beyond frustrating, right? Is my background overlay? Maybe is my background overlay on top? Let's turn that off because there's a chat frame. No, it's underneath though. But even when I did this, my chatter didn't appear. So that cannot be it. But let's leave that chat BG off for the time being. Oh, you guys haven't seen. So I went in here and I've got a chat BG and I've just turned that off. All right, so let's go back again. Let's see, real-time chat for OBS. Man, okay. Well, perhaps I'll take this offline to try to figure it out later. Extensions. Maybe there's a better chat box functionality. You know what? Perhaps there's an extension that's got something a little bit better. Chat was just the start. Okay. Extensions. You know what? That's what I'm going to do, I think, guys. I'm going to have a look through the extensions, see if I can find one that's got better chat functionality than what I've got currently going on. I'm going to add it in here to my extensions, and then away we go. Okay? So let's leave that for now because I don't want to hunt and peck for it. And I want to sort of get into what I wanted to talk about today. So. I'm going to test that just one more time. See if it wasn't the BG that was getting in the way. Yeah, no, there's no link between that and... Oh, hang on a minute. I wonder if... Just a quick look here, guys. Because I've got my chat box. No, the border, the bounding box of the chat box is within the frame, so it's not being blocked by anything. Okay, so let's leave it at that. I'm going to sign off, guys, and then when I come back on within like 5 minutes, I'll have a fresh cup of coffee, and we'll dive into nonlinear editors. So I'll talk to you guys in